Welcome to episode 2 of WhirlyGirlInk. I am your host, Rachel. You can find me on Instagram, and I have an Etsy shop, both with the name WhirlyGirlInk. This is a podcast about general crafting and some other nonsense, but mostly to have fun. If you want to know a little bit more about me, you can check out episode 1, and today is April 15th. Hopefully I'll get this out in a reasonable amount of time. We'll see. I hope so. I mentioned before that I mentioned in episode 1, homeschooling is starting, and in between last episode and this episode, I started homeschooling the kids for this whole thing that's going on where a lot of parents that weren't interested in homeschooling are now being forced to. Yeah. We can save that for later though. But it just means my time has been a little bit wonky. So let's get into finished objects. I talked about a paint by numbers that I had started last time, and I will insert a picture here of my fun painting that I think everybody should do some sort of painting or diamond painting or adult coloring book or something. I had mentioned that during this high anxiety stress time for people because it's so relaxing. Then the problem is I finished it and I want to do another one, but I can't find one that I like as much as this one. I know that there's ones all over the place. So I'm looking for another one, and then I might try a diamond painting, but I really like just the regular painting. It's so much fun. So that was my first finished object, and I love it. I got the painting kit from Michael's, and I don't remember how much it was, but I'll link to everything I talked to down below. And if you wanted to go find something similar or same type of thing. So that's my first finished object, and I love that. But then it inspired this whole hot air balloon thing. So, because I love hot air balloons. When I am retired and independently wealthy, I'm going to have a hot air balloon. I love hot air balloons. I think they're so pretty. So, that was my first one. I realized from the last episode that you can hear the dogs a lot. They don't have any squeaky toys right now, but instead of a squeaky toy, now Sparkles is outside the door whining because I won't let him in, and Lacey is scratching at the door. So I don't know if that's more or less annoying than them fighting and having squeaky toys and hearing them in all their craziness. I don't know which one's worse. I guess we're going to find out though. So we'll see. The next finished object I have, I talked about this book where I was making Amelia a squirrel because her dad calls her baby squirrel. And I got this book also at one of the big box stores. Like I said, I think Joann's. But I didn't show it on the last one because all I had was a nose and it looked odd, just having a nose. So now I finished it, and I lost the ball band for the body of it, but it's a cotton yarn that I got from Michael's or Joann's. I don't remember which one, but the pink and the purple are cotton, and then this it's a super cute hat. So I didn't follow the pattern with the hat, I made up my own hat because it's knitting. The rest of her is crochet, but the hat is knit with this amazing pom pom. The pom pom is just some acrylic that I had in stash, and then the hat is made by this yarn from Prism. Come on, you can do it, camera. Can do it. There you go. Custom dyed yarns from Prism. So it's kid silk with rayon, kid mohair, and nylon. Well, it doesn't actually have kid mohair in it because it was 2 strands held double, one with the rayon and then the mohair, but I separated the two, so this is just, the hat is just with the silky, or like the rayon part of it, in a color called Stardust. This yarn was weirdly expensive, but Amelia picked it out from a local yarn shop when we lived in Washington State, and I'll link to it. I'm really sorry, but I forgot the name of it right now. The name of the yarn shop. It was in Tacoma. But super cute yarn shop, and they had just moved to a new place, and they were gonna have some cool stuff going on there. But then we moved, so I have a new local yarn shop, and this one's really close, and I really like it. So this is, I don't know what her name's gonna be. She looks kind of like a pig because she's pink, but it's got a pig with a giant tail and a whoa. Okay, so that is finished object number 1. Well, I guess I can only say I have 2 finished objects. So that was finished object number 2, the painting number 1, that one number 2. But that's all the actual finished object I have, because, like I said, this hot air balloon thing started. I watched the Aviator, or not the Aviator, now I forgot the name of it. I watched a hot air balloon movie and this one. But, so I've had this fabric that I got at a sewing expo in Puyallup, Washington a couple years ago. And I wanted to I saw this really cool hot air balloon quilt, and I wanted to make that. So now that we are at home a lot, and on the weekends I am not homeschooling or doing any of the adult things that I'm supposed to be doing. Instead, I am finishing either projects that I've already bought all the items for, or finishing up whips, something like that. So this one was so Strip Therapy 2. I actually got it for this one that's on the cover. I got this book at a quilt shop in Tacoma, Washington, and then at the sewing expo I had gotten some jelly rolls, and if you don't know what that is, it's 2.5-inch wide strips of coordinating fabric, and I had gotten this one from, not that one, this one, Eclectic Elements Foundation. So I had gotten this one, and it was a bunch of kind of early 1900s type of fabrics and things like that. And then for the backing of it, I had gotten this fabric that it's a bunch of like airplane schematics and, well, aviation schematics and stuff. So I got a coordinating jelly rolls from this. All this will make sense in a second, or in a minute. Come on, you can do it. So Bella Solids, I ordered these from a quilt shop online. I ordered a couple of these. So these are the coordinating fabrics. So I finished the quilt top, and it's hard to show a quilt top, but you can see here, see how it's kind of a bunch of like 19th 19, or like, I'd say turn of the century, but we're in a new century. So a bunch of these kind of fabrics all in, they're more subdued colors. And then the, see, so the blue is this one. The blue is the one from these people. And then the middle section are the ones from the Eclectic Elements Foundation people. So when I finish so I sewed all the strips together. And then I am going to do some applique on the top of it. And I ordered from Joann's, I ordered some batting so that I can finish it and quilt it, and then I will be able to show you the whole thing in all its glory when that's done. So I'm really excited that I finished that quilt top, and I hope it'll look cool. It'll look cool. I know it'll look cool. It'll look good. The other thing is I want to show something really cool if you're into yarn bowls. So I have a bunch of yarn bowls, and if you don't know what they are like when you're knitting or crocheting, that it has little holes in them so that the yarn, you put the ball in it and the yarn doesn't go anywhere, and then it has a hole in the side so that the yarn can go through, so just to keep it from getting, so it not tangled. My stepmom had sent me a birthday gift and this amazing yarn bowl. And so first of all, my favorite color is green. This is really hard to show it, but see, it looks like a turtle. And it's amazing. And the other thing is it's metal, so when my husband drops it, because he broke my other one, one of my other favorite ones, it was on the side of the couch and he accidentally broke part of it. But this one, so my stepmom found it on Amazon, I think, and it's, come on, you can do it. Yeah, so it's really, really cool, and it's very, it's really well made, and it's very, very strong. I like it. Yeah. So that's kind of the only things I've been working on. I was working on my Maritimo sweater, but not enough really to show any significant progress from last time. Otherwise, I totally reorganized my craft room because, so I am well set up to stay busy during this stay-at-home time because of my curated craft supplies. It's not hoarding. It's preparing for this sort of event. That's what I tell myself. But so I'm all set up for it. However, from moving a lot, because we move a lot, or we have in the past moved a lot. I hope we're not going to move a lot in the future, contrary to what my husband and son think. But since we move a lot of the time the crafting stuff sort of gets like thrown together, and then I just sort of stuff in places. So that had happened, and then so I wanted to go through it and really organize it a lot better. So I did that yesterday, and I realized I have a lot of staplers, like the little tiny, like this big staplers, not like the big red ones from Office Space, but like little tiny staplers. Why do I need so many staplers? It's really it. I think I found 4. What do I need 4 staplers for? I don't need 4 staplers. So now all those staplers are in a drawer together, organized with the extra staples. So I don't understand me sometimes. Like, past me really buys weird stuff. I don't get it. And I found a whole slew of things. Oh, so that was one thing of what kind of started this is, so like I said, I'm teleworking, and so I don't, I'm not at work, but there are people at work because we are an essential thing. Like we're gonna stay, like work is gonna stay open, which is why my husband is still going to work, even without a whole heck of a lot to do, because most of my side of the house are not going. But there are people that are at work, so they need masks, because so I made a bunch of masks for them and for my friend and her kid and stuff. So I was making these masks, and I have 2 sewing machines, which I get made fun of about, and I don't care. I have 2 sewing machines. I have a kind of, like really low end one that I got at like Walmart or something for like $100. And then I have a really big, nice embroidery machine that's not $100. But I bought the cheap sewing machine because the service, to get a service done on my big machine, costs more than the little sewing machine. So I was making these masks on the little sewing machine, and then that one decided to go wonky and just catch the thread on the bobbin, and I don't know how to fix it. And so I brought out my big sewing machine for the first time in like a year and a half, because for moving, it was in my friend's house and I just got her back and stuff. So I started sewing on the big sewing machine, and I forgot how much I love that thing. So it's really dumb little things about it, but anybody that sews more than just, putting like a straight stitch to fix a hole or something like that, but like actually like makes things with a sewing machine, might appreciate this. So I made about 55 masks, and I made the majority of them on the little sewing machine. So every time that you cut the thread, the little cutter wasn't sharp enough, so I'd have to grab the scissors, cut the thread. Then you have to hold the thread when it starts so that it doesn't suck it back into the machine. And then you have all these little, like you have all the little threads that you have to cut at the end, and then the machine has to be threaded itself, like you have to thread the needle and things like that. And I know all of this is first world problems. I get that. I have a sewing machine, and I'm very lucky, and I'm extraordinarily lucky that I have 2 of them. This is purely just a one crafter to another, talking about the things that just make it a little bit easier. So my big sewing machine doesn't suck the thread back in, so you don't have to hold any threads. You press a little button and it cuts the threads really close, so you don't have to trim them. And it's so much quieter, and it vibrates a lot less, and it's just so amazing. And it makes things a lot quicker, because just those couple of steps of cutting the thread, holding it, all those things, adds like, about 5 to 10 seconds per mask. And when you're making, 55 of them, it adds quite a bit of time that the other one takes away. So it was so much quicker to just go through that. So then I realized remembered how much I love this sewing machine. So then I wanted to sew all the things, but then I couldn't find the things I wanted. So this is totally the crafting if you give a mouse a cookie thing, is that I started this, and then I needed to do this thing, and I couldn't find a thing, so then I had to organize, and then I organized, but then it kind of stops there because it's all organized and I don't want to mess it up. Yeah. But it's alright. So that's what started the whole organizing my craft room and finding my inordinate amount of staplers. I don't do that much with paper. Why do I have staplers? But yeah, so now my craft room is all set up. So I have all these along this table thing that I have over here, that I have works in progress that I want to finish, or projects that I want to start or continue on, which I have a lot of ideas. Lots and lots of ideas. It's also cold outside right now, so it makes me want to do all the things inside. But I have to get through that whole adulting thing going on right now, where I just had a technical difficulty that it said that the card was full, but the card wasn't full. I don't know what it got angry about. Something. So I'm going to reshoot the very end of this. And also, you're going to miss the dogs breaking into the room, being crazy. Now you just get to hear their nails on the floor. But yeah, so I have to do this being an adult thing right now, and ensuring my children get somewhat of an education during this crazy time. And so some of the projects that I want to work on take a little bit more concentration, and whatever, we'll get to it. I don't actually remember what got cut out of there, what got cut off of the last part that I did. I talked about the works in progress. I talked about some of the things that I wanted to get around to doing. I think the gardening part got cut out, so we've been gardening, and there's another video of, I might have said this, and if I did, I'll try to edit out what I've already talked about, but there's a video on Amelia's art that shows us making some garden markers for the plants that we just did. And I have tiny peaches coming in. They're not supposed to be tiny peaches, they're just tiny right now. We'll see how big they get, or if they come in at all, since it did frost. But yeah, so I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy during this time, and enjoying some family time, and recentering if you need to, and just trying to do the best that all of us can. Come here. Oh, there we go. There's Lacey. Oh. Yeah, she's a good girl. She's yeah, she's a good girl. The other one's whining because I won't let him up here because he's too big. But this is the lasers. Yes, this is the lasers. So this is Lacey. Since that's what you'll hear, you might as well see what you can hear, with their little nails going all over, and when they're fighting, and squeaky toys and things like that. So anyway, like I said, I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy, and getting some good family time in there, and not having too much anxiety during this crazy time. So until next time, I will talk to everyone later. Bye.